What is going on, YouTubeverse? John Stanek from Johnny Radio here, bringing you another Viva Vinyl classic album review. And it does not get much more classic than this, folks. The 2008 masterpiece by Kings of Leon, Only by the Night, which is my personal favorite, their fourth studio album. I'm highly anticipating their eighth studio album, When You See Yourself, which comes out in March. I just actually did a review of their new single, 100,000 People. You can check that out. But let's talk about this one, guys. I don't know that they'll ever top this one, even though all their albums are great. They don't have a bad one to their name, but this was the pinnacle of their success, both commercially and, in my opinion, artistically. I mean, just the opener, I'm just gonna run through all the tracks on here because they all deserve mentioning, but the opener, Closer, is just so cool. That sound that opens up, which I didn't realize was Jared's bass until I saw them live at the O2. And you were like, man, he's using this foot pedal and it just makes this weird siren sound that is just so cool and sets this mood and atmosphere that's both dark and haunting, but also beautiful and just mesmerizing. It just catches you by the throat. And then the band you know, one thing I gotta just stop and say about the Followill brothers and Matthew, the cousin, they just always, and Matthew specifically, because lead guitarists can sometimes, you know, just overstay their welcome. But all of these guys just always know what to do perfectly to enhance the song. Matthew does not overplay or overstay his welcome on lead guitar. He does these tasteful riffs and licks that just always enhance the song. And Caleb, as a songwriter and as a lyricist, just always top notch. And then Nathan on drums, one of the things that he does throughout the whole record, specifically on songs like Manhattan. I know I'm jumping around now, but he plays different rhythms as the song goes along. If you really pay attention to his drumming, he has a lot of open space in the beginning, but then as the song goes on, he's doing these different rhythms to, take it up a notch and never make it seem boring. And it's just brilliant throughout the record. But the opening 1-2 punch of Closer and Crawl, one of the greatest 1-2 rock opening punches of any rock album, in my opinion. Crawl has such a cool riff. The two riffs that play off of each other between Caleb and Matthew, just so awesome, and just makes you want to just really bang on the steering wheel and put your teeth out at the same time. Yeah, what a great groove and rock riff. Really, if I had to pick, the tracks 1 and 2 are probably my two favorites on the album. But I mean, there's so many great ones. Manhattan, as I mentioned, beautiful, one of their most underrated songs. Of course, two of their most overrated are tracks 3 and 4, Sex on Fire and Use Somebody. You know, if I'm going to be honest, when they started releasing singles leading up to this album, I was kind of like, what's happening to my Kings of Leon? You know, that happens a lot when you discover a band and you feel like you're one of the only ones that knows about them, and then they get hugely popular due to radio-friendly pop commercial hits, and then you're like, I don't know if I like this. But then as time went on, I realized, first of all, how great those songs are, how catchy they are. There's a reason they play them at every concert. And then I'm like, wait, I should be rooting for these guys to have great success, because I've loved them from the beginning. What is wrong with me? You know, it's that weird mindset that we have as human beings. But man, Sex on Fire and Use Somebody, what more can you say, man? They're just two of their greatest tracks. I mean, what an opening A-side to this album. And then you got Revelry, one of their greatest ballads, just a beautiful song. You got 17, which is another underrated track, which is really cool. I like how they use the bells in there. Again, the percussion is always it's always interesting throughout this album. That's what I love about this band. It never sounds repetitive, even though Notion kind of follows the pattern of their hits. Sex on Fire, Use Somebody, that kind of radio-friendly hit, but even that one has a life of its own. I just love the melody that Caleb has on that one. Such a cool one. I Want You is the only track on here that I would consider omitting. It's usually the only track on here that I skip, usually, because it doesn't offer a whole lot to the album. But then Be Somebody, oh man, another great underrated rocker. I love especially the ending of this thing. It just goes off, man. I love, these guys can truly rock out. And then ending with Cold Desert, one of their best album closers. I put it right up there with Arizona from Because of the Times, but brilliant song that just builds and builds. And it's so cool when you know that they kind of went into the studio just recording it raw, and Caleb's vocals, he was just coming up with the lyrics on the spot. That just blows my mind. Their talent level is through the roof. One of the greatest rock bands of current time. And yeah, just a brilliant record. I'd be close to giving this thing a 10 out of 10, but because of I Want You, I would give this a strong 9.5 out of 10. It is a masterpiece. You have to have it. If you haven't heard it, what are you waiting for? Go on Spotify or whatever streaming service now and listen to this just majestic album. And guys, Kings of Leon, as I mentioned, their next album is coming soon. We got a lot to anticipate in 2021. Thank God. Thank you guys for this album. And thank you all for watching. We got top 5s every Friday. We got album reviews, top 100s, and so much more. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, Viva la Vinyl. So guys, thanks so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and be sure to ring the bell for notifications so you can always see great quality content like you're seeing on the screen right now. Thank you so much for supporting Johnny Radio, and I'll see you soon.